Hello, my name is Alfred. Today we're going to talk about the current state of green power. We're going to talk with four experts who are going to tell their part of the green economic and power. And first of all, we are going over to Mads in Denmark, who's going to talk about the social economic aspects in Denmark with special focus on the current sustainable energy conditions.
Denmark is a leading nation when it comes to national sustainability. They are placed as number 4 leading country out of 127. The reason Denmark has such a good placement is based on the fact that the Danish government has a very sustainable vision for the country. The reason Denmark isn't in the first place is caused by the fact that they are producing a lot of oil and nature gas in Northern, which isn't very good for the vision of a green environment. The Danes have a vision of sustainability development. This contains social sustainability, green sustainability, and economic sustainability. The reason Denmark can have all this focus on sustainability is because Denmark has a strong and healthy economy with a high level of prosperity. This is the basis for Denmark to invest in welfare, education, and health, and for them to take care of their most vulnerable in their community. Participation of a broad labor market is both a prerequisite for their prosperity and welfare, but it's also an important from a social perspective. This means that everyone in Denmark who has interest in a more sustainable world can contribute to the cause, and this is an opportunity that not many people have. Denmark, both independently and through the EU, will continue to make active contribution in international negotiations under the UN, the World Bank, and other multilateral forums to ensure sustainable global development and the multilateral system. Developments in the world must take place in balance with our resource base. With these strengths in the field of environment and energy technology, Denmark can help to create concrete solutions to sustainability problems around the world. If Denmark manages to make full use of these strengths, it will also help to create growth and jobs in Denmark.
Thank you, Mads. Now we're moving on to Sebastian Bachmann, who is going to talk about the current state in the UK. Thank you, Alfred. I'm going to tell you about how much green energy the UK has actually taken use of. 2016 beat up several records for the renewable energy forms associated with the UK supply network. In both England and Scotland, both wind and solar power has thus covered historical shares in inhabitants' electricity consumption. Back in April 2016, it became the first day in which solar power generated more electricity than coal in the UK. May became the first month, and now the months from April to September have become the first half year in which the total production from the country's solar farms has surpassed the coal power plants. The 1st of May, the British shut down all the coal-fired power plants from the next 8 days. Britain managed to completely run without the coal-fired power, which in the first time British has lived without coal since 1882. As you see here, instead of the coal, the British electricity consumption was covered by a combination of natural gas, nuclear power, wind, biomass and solar power, as well about 10% imports from energy from the outside. This information shows here on the graph and also here on the next graph. The UK obtained 19% of the primary energy from low carbon sources. From this is nuclear power. The second largest component of low carbon was bioenergy, accounting to 37% of the low carbon energy sources. Energy supply from the wind increased by 15% in 2018, with capacity up to 11%, but with wind speed at 0.1 knots, lower than 2017. Thank you, Sebastian. Now we're moving over to Kevin again, who's going to talk a little bit more about the press conference with Boris Johnson.
On Monday, the 6th of October, Prime Minister Boris Johnson held a speech at the Conservative Party's online press conference where he laid out his new Green Recovery Plan called 10-Point Plan. The plan is to set £160 million aside to infrastructure and make room for new offshore windmills. It's estimated to create 2,000 jobs immediately and in the future bring 60,000 new jobs indirectly and directly with the new plan. And now over to Mads with some more in-depth details.
With the things we've learned after the speech, we now know that Britain's green energy goal of producing 30 gigawatts per year by 2030 has been raised to 40 gigawatts, which would be enough to power every home in Britain if the same usage as now would be in 2030. They've built further on with the plan to make it a goal for Britain to be net zero by 2050, which means they would only rely on green energy.
Thank you, Peter. Now we move on to Hjalte Olsen, who is going to talk about the effects of windmill power in both UK and Denmark.
Thank you, Oliver. The Danish company Vestas is the world-leading wind turbine manufacturer in the world. Vestas Manufacturing AS is also the 6th biggest company in Denmark measured on sales. The company affects the Danish export heavily and contributes positively to the Danish climate footprint. Thanks to big companies such as Vestas, the Danish government is able to make more green choices that benefits the climate. The Danish wind turbine industry export in 2018 earned about 6.7 million British pounds. Wind power is the UK's strongest source of renewable energy and made up to 20% of UK's electricity last year. There are a total of 8,620 onshore wind turbines and 2,292 offshore wind turbines. In 2010, the UK started the project called Hornsea Wind Farm, which is zone in the North Sea of the coast of England. The project, which according to the plan should be finished by the end of 2020, is owned by Ørsted, the biggest energy company in Denmark. The wind farm is to have a total capacity of 6 gigawatt.
That was it for today's news. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.